Hello, it's Ryan here from RLF Vacuum Cleaners in Lakenheath, and today I'm going to be talking about Anderson connectors. Here I have a couple of grey 50 amp Anderson connectors. Anderson connectors are a high current, quick disconnect, usually found on batteries, camper vans, generally with a high current, low voltage, so you're talking caravans, leisure batteries, scrubber dryers, forklifts use them. All sorts of various applications. They're used in charging applications on forklifts. You see them on HGV lorry trailers for where you've got an articulated lorry with an electric tail lift. What they do is they get to site, they connect basically a cable between the lorry and the trailer using one of these connectors. Jolly handy little connector, they're pretty good. They're genderless, so it doesn't matter which way you put on which. And then of course you've got your markings for your positive and your negative. And they simply just slot together like so. But as this one's got no connectors in it, they don't actually lock together. It's actually the connectors that actually lock together. The connectors are just simply an open barrel connector. You push your wire in. There's two ways of connecting a wire. Some people say you can solder them in, which you can do. I don't recommend this, as over time the solder can start to crack and you get loose connections. So I prefer the crimp route. There's various different ways you can crimp them. I have a specific crimping tool that does 50, 75, 120 and 175 amp connectors. This again is an iWis tool. I was talking about iWis in the last video. They make good tools at reasonable prices. I'm actually such a fan of this tool, I'm actually going to sell a few of these. Because to actually buy this tool, you've got to buy big quantities to get the price down. So I've been playing with this tool for the last few weeks. It's actually pretty handy. So I'm actually going to sell a load of them. So, the actual making off of the connector is nice and simple. You basically strap your wire in, stick it in the right hole, crimp it, and then you connect your wire and you push it in. And then on the inside you've got these little metal tangs. The little metal tangs hook over the edge. You see it's got a little lip on it. Focus. Yeah, you can see it's got a little lip on it. Basically what happens is you push it in, little spring tang stops it popping out, and then you just make them together. I've actually got one to make up, so what I'll do is I'll prep it and go through the stages. Hello, future Ryan here. I was watching that segment back as I was editing and I realised I wasn't making myself abundantly clear. What I mean by these little tangs, little lips, hook onto the spring, there's this little ledge here. As you push it in, the little spring catches on this little edge here, and then the other side is your contact edge. So when you push it in, the spring comes in, locks it in on that side, and then when you push the connector together, basically what you're doing is you're pushing these two contacts together over each other like so. It's hard to get the camera angle on it. And just clip together like so. Alright, so what I've done is I've stripped the cable and I've put the connector on. Now these connectors have to go on the right way round and also in the right order. So it takes a good 30 seconds to a minute to work out which way round you want to crimp them and which way the order has to be. Because if you get it wrong, you're rather ballsed up. So what we'll do is we'll check to make sure the orientation and everything's all good. We've got our new connector here, make sure everything's good to mate to the new one, which we done earlier, which is there. And then we'll be back. Yeah, so this is a connector after we've crimped it. What it basically does is it puts a massive indent in that stops the cable pulling out. That's now a nice secure connection. So what we'll do is we'll tidy it up and we'll put it in the connector. Now that all that's done, is we will put the other connector on. What we're basically going to do is put them little spring tabs inside. What we basically want to do is going to push the cable in. This can be a bit stiff sometimes until the little hook on the back hooks over into the spring tab. And unfortunately it's going to be a two-handed job, so I'm going to have to put you down for a moment. So yeah, that's the connectors pushed in. There's the tabs are riveted into the springs, they're not coming off. And what we basically got to do is basically plug the two together. So there we are, that's the connectors connected together. Simple, just disconnect, just pull them apart, and then if you want to pull the contacts out, you just grab a little screwdriver, pop them out, so I'll show you that. And just by using a small flat bladed screwdriver and pushing on the connectors slightly, pushing them in slightly, just getting a screwdriver in there, pushing that little tag down, and that's enough to release the terminals. Don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but basically, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick this up, but basically I put a screwdriver in there, pushing these little spring tags down, it's enough to get the connectors out. So there's a very straightforward design, so I'll put that back together and we'll test it. So there we are, got the connectors all back together, clipped together, back on this machine. And these are great connectors. They're nice and sturdy, you know, nothing's going to pull them apart easily. And they're good for good fit. They are rated at 50 amps. Obviously this isn't a 50 amp load. It's a 30 amp load. So it should be good for a little while. So thank you very much for watching. I will just grab the crimping tool in a moment and I'll tell you the details of it. The details of the crimping tool, it's an iWis iCrimp IWS 50AP, in case you're interested. And depending on when you're watching this video, we might have a few for sale on our eBay shop, which I'll leave a link to in the description. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.